Hey guys, it's the History Nerd here with another new start to the Stellaris series. I think it's safe to say the second round of Terran Republic didn't go so well. All those damn Corvettes. So, that means it's time to start the Star Trek New Horizons mod play. So let's get this started, shall we? Now this mod has been updated. Come on. Since the last time that I played. I'm guessing things are running a little slow because I'm currently rendering the Silent Hunter video for today. So it's going to take a little while. Anyway, getting on with the mod. As we can see, there are tons, and I mean tons, of pre-made Star Trek related races in this game. Not all of them, obviously, are as fleshed out as others. That's why we're going to be rolling with United Earth, which, you know, is basically the start of the Federation. We've got new galaxies to choose from, so we'll go with the Star Trek galaxy. Why not leave everything as it should be and get her started. Now, when we take a look at this galaxy, once it loads, we're obviously not going to be playing to a traditional Stellaris victory of conquer everything. Nobody has time for that. So what we're going to want to do is have basically the United Federation of Earth, or the United Federation of Planets, sort of the dominant power in the Alpha and Beta Quadrant. So we're looking at, you know, dominating this sector of space, which means, among other things, we're going to have the Klingons, the Romulans, and the Cardassians to worry about. Obviously, getting up into the Gamma and Delta Quadrants is hugely far away, and I just don't think that for a Let's Play series we're going to wind up, you know, conquering the Galactic Core as the United Federation, or what have you. And even the phrase conquering might not be exactly correct. So if we scope out the Sol system, you can see we've got things pretty much surveyed out here. Yeah, all of the Sol system is scanned, and we can see quite clearly that we got a little bit of power, we got some minerals, we got a little bit of engineering and physics research. So we're going to take the science ship, the USS Ginsel, under the command of Captain Antoine Tinabu, to Alpha Centauri to do some scanning. What else do we need to do? Well, we need to get our science set up. Part of the mod, obviously, is new technologies, so I think the first thing we're going to want to probably go for are some phase cannons, obviously the colony ship, and we will go with mining network level 2. Why not? Let's get our minerals up to where it should be. One final thing we're going to want to check on, of course, is what's going on planet Earth. And we can see that we do have 4 excess food rolling here, so we can probably take this and get some power rolling, because we weren't really sitting well with power. Obviously, Earth is bigger in this mod. The thing with this, though, if we take a look at humanity, we are charismatic, communal, but we're slow breeders, and we've got natural society output. So that's all good. We are individualist, diplomatic, and stoic. In the mod, obviously, these things have changed, so, you know, we got some reduced diplomatic influence cost. Our rivalry influence gain is also reduced, and we've got less xenophobia because we like other species. We also happen to have 2 colonies rolling. We got Earth, we got Mars. We can see Mars, it's got food, no problems there, and a little bit of energy, which would be nice. So we should probably get a governor on Mars. We will do that, and I think we'll go with Kaylee Milligan here, because she's young and she's got the blockers, the clear blockers, which is good because we got some blockers to clear. I'll also zoom in for this because, as you would expect in a total conversion mod, all of the assets have been replaced. So there is a Federation starport, which is absolutely gigantic. We've got our little science ship here, looking lovely, and then we've got our constructor ship here, which is also looking pretty lovely, and finally our 3 quaint little Corvettes, which, you know, if you guys follow my Stellaris series, you will understand that I'm not exactly a fan of Corvettes. It's not that I got anything against tiny ships, it's just that in my head, it makes more sense to have, you know, do we have this surveyed? Not possible. Well, not surveyed, but we know what's in there. What about Alpha Centauri? Do we know what's going on here? No. I do know that there are a lot of planets there. Yeah, so I prefer to you know, have sort of like bigger ships. I guess in my head, bigger is better. And, you know, it's not necessarily the case in Stellaris. I can understand how smaller ships would, you know, potentially... More smaller ships would be better for you know, going out and getting crazy amounts of targets shot and having crazy amounts of targets that your enemy needs to shoot. But, you know, I think certainly it gets a little crazy, like in the last Terran Republic video. So I'm hoping, you know, with all these different ship types that we've got here, and the changes that the New Horizons mod does to shipping, or ship types, should suit my play style more. Now, I've also been playing around, as I go on to just a slight Stellaris tangent, with a mod that brings in Star Destroyers and all sorts of Star Wars ships. And I gotta say, I quite like that. But I said we'd do Star Trek New Horizons first, and this is a very good total conversion mod, so we'll be rolling with it. Right off the bat, you can see
challenge your preconceptions, or they will challenge you.
We've got contact with the Vulcan High Command. Blessings upon you, human comrades. Let's get a non-aggression pact going. Let's get a do we want a defensive pact? It's going to cut into our influence, and we want to be kind of cognizant of that, but we can also offer a migration treaty. The Vulcans live on arid planets, we live on continental. They might not be all that interested in, you know, coming and living on Earth, but maybe they'll like to come and live on Mars, which would be just fine. So let's go ahead and kick this up to speed too. Hopefully my computer can handle it while it's rendering a video. I think it should be okay. And then we can just, you know, get started into the beginnings of yet another Stellaris campaign. I do humbly apologize to all of my Stellaris fans out there, because I can never seem to get a good solid series going. I'm hoping this is going to be different. And like I say, the plan for this is to just go and get the United Federation of Planets into a good position in the Alpha Quadrant. Maybe fight off the Borg, which is the sort of endgame crisis that's in the mod. So we'll see if we can get the Borg taken care of, and then probably call it a series there. It's being pretty damn ambitious. With my track record in Stellaris, I half expect the Klingons to come along in the year, you know, 2200 and wipe out all of humanity. Time will tell. So what I've done is I've just split up Starfleet, obviously into the 3 different groups, and we're just sending out our vessels to go scout out the universe.
Spatial rift detected.
And so we've got contact with the beta aliens there. Thankfully, with the changes to research time that this mod introduces, i.e. keeping these at a relatively decent rate, it's not going to take us too long to get colony ships, so then we can start you know, making contact with the civilizations we meet out there. So I don't think these are the Andorians. I think these guys are the Benzarians. But you know, we got all of the races you would expect to see. If you're a fan of Enterprise, you'll certainly know some of the races we come in contact with. The Andorians, the Talarians, etc., etc. Well, it's going to take us a little while to get there. So let's scope out Alpha Centauri. We can see we got 2 habitable planets in this area.
Spatial rift detected.
So that's not too bad at all. We're off to a good start here. Taking a look at this planet, we don't have much in the way of food production here. And that could be a bit of a concern. That's not a bad spot for a capital planet there if we decide to focus in on energy. For whatever reason, I think we might as well make this an energy-producing planet. But we'll see. We got some more terrestrial planets scattered all over the place. Certainly in this mod, we've got, you know, more habitable planets than you tend to find in a Stellaris game, which is just fine by me. But, you know, I mean, we're also going to be having the Talarians, who are a continental race, also looking at some of these, you know, and that's obviously before we go through with the whole unifying of the Federation. Centauri is a huge system. It's going to take forever and a day to get all of this discovered. While we're sitting around not doing much, though, might as well get started on building up some mining stations in the Sol system. We're not exactly hard up on resources, but hey, any more resources we can get at the start is a good idea. We also seem to be doing fairly well on food production, at least for now. But it might not be a bad idea to clear off these 2 food-producing tiles and get farms built up on it, so our population can grow quicker, and we won't, you know, run into issues with food production as time goes by. I think this guy is done. So we can start sending him out and around down here to scope things out. I want to get a good view of the galaxy. We don't necessarily need to expand quickly. Is that it was just that? Okay, well, we can let this run when we decide what we're going to go with, and I think what we should probably go with is spatial torpedoes. It's tough to say no to phasers, but we got phase cannons. That'll do for now. Getting some torpedo research would probably be a good idea. What, the 80% failure rate? We're going to leave that now, Captain Tinabu. Phase cannons done up there, so let's go with... Now, I know from playing this before, I just want to check if this is still the case. Drop this down to speed 2, and in fact, we can probably do this first. We will obviously go with the early universal translator to get our trust and diplomatic growth up. But if we take a look at, you know, the Colio, this warp engine here, we got an FTL speed of 10%, a range of 25%, and a ship cost of -10. It's all looking pretty good, especially compared to a normal Warp 5 engine. Just gives us a speed and range increase, not the ship cost decrease. So we will go with that, obviously. And we will obviously also start researching the habitable planets. Unfortunately, after we had scanned Alpha Centauri 3 here, and as you can see, it's going to take a long time before we're ready to put down a colony planet on this planet. All of the tile blockers, a little ridiculous. At least this is slightly better. We can see the Grinsel here. The USS Grinsel still has 7 orders left to do. It's going to take a little while to get all that completed. Still scanning around, lovely. Once we get, you know, some more of this area of the galaxy opened up, we'll bring Starfleet home. In fact, we might want to be doing that sooner than later. There are definitely situations where we're going to want to have the fleet at home. Looks like we got some pirates in 13 SETI. So all of them are still around. Like all of the monsters. Which is good, because those sort of fit in with a... that's a lot of pirates here. That fits in nicely with a Star Trek vibe where, you know, the galaxy has these things that, you know, these challenges that you're going to have to go through. So, you know, I approve of keeping those in. But there are no fallen empires, though. So, I mean, technically, you might consider the Borg sort of a fallen empire, but they're more of a, and, you know, they're more of a Prothean scourge than they are a keeper of knowledge, if you will. Although I guess, you know, Borgs aren't necessarily keepers of knowledge, or in a way, they kind of are, because all of the assimilation, regardless, it's neither here nor there for the sake of playing through this mod. It's just, you know, we can kick this back up to speed 2. Why not? Why not indeed?
Enemy vessels detected.
I don't necessarily think
Detected.
we need to start upgrading these mining stations on Earth.
Incoming transmission.
What do we got?
Challenge your preconceptions,
Active sensor
or they
links.
will
Sure! What have you got for me?
Hostile fleet engaged.
Where? Oh, well, that's not good. So there goes that Corvette.
Enemy vessels detected. Spatial rift detected.
But you know, what can you do? Not much. Unfortunately, we didn't make it up to Romulan space. It was the pirates that got us. So we're down to 2 Corvettes now, but that's okay. We can build more ships. And I mean, quite honestly, we should probably do that. So let's take a look and see how much. 240. So I guess this is a good time to take a look at shipbuilding, because as you can see, there's a few different things here. Now we got different variants which change, in this case, nothing. So no matter what, your Corvettes are going to have 2 small weapon slots and 1 torpedo slot with a small and medium utility slot. That changes as your ship types get bigger, so you can have a science variant, a tactical variant, an engineering variant, and the utility slots that are made available change based upon the ship type. Like I say, for your typical Corvette, you don't really gotta worry about anything there. We got our pulse cannons, so obviously we can upgrade those right away to phase cannons. We've got our warp drive, our combat computer, our chemical or our thrusters, our radar system, our warp core, and our shielding, as well as our utility slots, which will allow us to put in things like emergency backup systems, nuclear reactors, and things of that nature. How your ship generates power, because you're taking a look at this, and if you play a lot of Stellaris, you're like, this ship has no reactors, how is it powering itself? Your warp core generates power, which is absolutely in line with the way Star Trek ships work. I like that. I like the way that works. But if you wind up building a massive battleship, you know, you might not have the warp core that will be able to power it, so you can slap on some extra power generation and be happy. We are receiving a transmission from the Telarius. I am authorized to offer you cordial greetings from the Tellarite Technocracy. We have built a peaceful system of government that operates under the supervision of a council led by Administrator Grell. May our 2 nations know nothing but peace. Indeed, we can learn much from each other, Tellarites. And I would imagine relatively quickly they're going to start, yeah, we can research that. They're going to start wanting to say, hey, we should, you know, be committed to peace and free will and happiness and all those things that make life worth living. These 2 ships are almost done. Now, like I say, I would like to get a bit more exploration out here going on. So what I might do, who's going to be done first? We got you with 4 more systems to visit. We got you with 2 more. So we'll just take you and send you up around here. And then back home. Yeah, that'll work. And then you can just come back to Earth. Because I think you've had your time with exploration. And sooner than later, like I say, we need to get Earth protected, basically. We would not want to drag your people into a conflict, but it is clear that we would benefit from joining together against possible threats. Alright, we'll go with that. Like I say, you gotta be careful though, because you don't necessarily want to hamstring your influence production. I want to make sure the Tellarites understand we're here for peace and, you know, democracy and all those things that the Federation hold near and dear. Looks like we got an abandoned amusement park. And there are sort of Star Trek unique events that pop up, as well as the standard Stellaris events. So there's some more flavor. I mean, again, sure, my influence gain though, if we get the Andorians who are like, hey, we should have a defensive pact, it's basically goodbye influence. And, you know, with influence being a limiting factor in colonization, sure, we can snag Alpha Centauri 7. And I think we will snag Alpha Centauri 7.
Anomaly found.
Yeah, give that a research. How many more have you got? Because after that, I want you to come down to Sirius and take a look at Springboard and Kersendal. So, yeah. That'll be important to do.
Complete.
We got our diplomatic translator. That'll help make friends. We might as well, I think, probably leader capacity and recruitment cost dropping is a good idea. And why not? Let's get a spaceport level 2, because we're going to need that sooner than later. We should also probably start researching. We'll go with the Gamma aliens first, and then we'll go with the Beta aliens next, just because I know that's the Andorians. And let's try and go for a quote-unquote historically accurate founding of the Federation. Speak of the devil, here is a Star Trek specific event. After a day in orbit of Alpha Centauri B with no progress in locating the source of the unusual subspace readings, Captain Tinabu prepares to give the order to move on to the USS Grinsel's next survey target. Moments later, the ship's sensors detect a surge in subspace activity, followed by the appearance of an alien ship off the port bow. Hailing the vessel proves fruitless, and after several minutes of silent confrontation, the ship warps away. So what are we going to do? We can attempt to follow the ship, we can wait for the ship to return, or we could leave orbit. First things first. You're meticulous. So you'd probably, if someone's I'm going to say that she is going to attempt to follow the ship. Within minutes of the aliens entering warp, the Grinsel's sensors lock on the vessel start to deteriorate. 5 minutes more and the ship has disappeared from sensors completely. Captain Tinabu orders additional power to the sensors, and another subspace disturbance is detected several light years away. Arriving at the coordinates, the vessel is nowhere to be seen. However, the subspace disturbance has at its heart an exotic particle fountain, rapidly decaying in intensity. Accepting that the alien vessel cannot be located, Captain Tinabu commits the USS Grinsel to the study of the particle fountain before it collapses. At least it wasn't a complete waste. We got 90 physics points out of that. That ain't half bad. I mean, it's not gonna make too many changes, mind you.
Research complete.
But I'll stick with it. I'm pleased. We got our new warp engines done, so we might as well go ahead and take a look at getting some basic combat computers rolling. As well, we'll take our construction ship and see if we can build those research stations. That'll be a good thing to do. We have received a transmission coming in from Benzar. The Benzite Commonwealth. That's who it is. I am delighted to offer you cordial greetings from the Benzite Commonwealth. We have built a peaceful system of government that operates under the supervision of a council led by Supreme Echelon Murdoch. May your great species know nothing but peace. We can learn an awful lot from each other, if I do say so myself. And you want a non-aggression pact? Fine. That's not a defensive pact, so we'll go with it. There we go. Alpha Centauri scan done. Let's go to Sirius next. because we got some good planets down there. We could also take a look, obviously, at Sturvey and Altair, but, you know, we'll get... Altair looks like a great system with 3 terrestrial planets. My word, the Federation is going to need that. I mean, Earth can take it if we want, but definitely the Federation needs that. Speaking of Earth, let's take a look at what we can do. Looks like we've got a signal coming in from Sigma Tamma 4. We've got the Tamarian Union, or the Tamarian Unity, and thankfully they haven't rewritten this to use the Tamarian language. This freaking, you know, walls of Chagra or whatever it was. Ugh, that episode of TNG was always trying for me. We are the Tamarian Union, a peaceful nation ruled justly by our beloved King Dalthan. We do not know what barbarity your bizarre species is capable of, but we hope future grievances can be settled through dialogue rather than violence. In that case, our citizens greet you in peace. And, you know, Darmok and Talagra, whatever, you've closed your borders to us, that's fine. It also looks like we've got our first minor nation, which is the thing this mod definitely has, the non-aggression pact, from the Betazoid houses. Absolutely. We will not go to war with you, you Betazoid friends. And so I'm not 100% clear on how these minor races work, but as you can see, they've got almost no borders. They've got, you know, a single planetary system colonized. Not sure if they can actually spread out to Dinara or other systems, but I don't think they can. But, you know, it's just there for flavor and obviously to give the Federation friends to bring into the Federation. After successfully translating their language, we've established communications with the Andorian Empire. I represent the Andorian Empire. Our elected leader, Empress Varl, hopes for peaceful relations with your people, but know that we are more than capable of defending our way of life. We could learn much from each other, Andorians, and in fact, let's get a defensive pact right away. And why not? Let's get a migration treaty rolling with you too. I'm not too concerned about getting migration treaties with these two guys. The Talarians, it's 50-50. Either, you know, Earth will fill up with Talarians, and hey, that's not bad. We got a whole bunch of free pops, considering it takes us ages to breed. It's not a bad thing. We got some more effing pirate problems. It's another Corvette that we've lost. We've got just this one left. That's fine. We can go ahead. Did I? I didn't. What are we? We'll wait for our combat computers to get done, and then we will upgrade the lone USS Anaconda and you know, build out the rest of Starfleet. But we're started. We got, you know, the foundation of the Federation right here, along with some future friends that we can pull in if we need to. Well, not if, when we need to. Basically, in the early stages, now this was a while ago, but if I remember correctly, the Talarians and the Andorians, they don't really get along together, so convincing them to come in on the same Federation might be a bit of an issue. Time will tell. We'll see. I'm not too worried about it. Let's just put it that way. Earth, we can definitely use some work here. So let's go ahead and get ourselves another power plant. Actually, taking a look at our minerals, what we should do before anything else is get our first colony ship on the go. I think next up we will go with the phaser munitions. That'll be helpful for our people, for our, you know, our troops. And why not? It's only going to take 11 months. Let's get a destroyer researched. But instead of getting the destroyer researched, let's get, well, I mean, along with getting the destroyer researched, let's get this girl up and ready to go. We might as well put in an emergency backup system just to be safe. We got our Corvette done. Let's upgrade this ship for 33 minerals.
Station complete.
Nice and quick. And then we will get a colony ship going as well. We got another minor nation over here, the Denobulans. So we can offer you a non-aggression pact, because obviously we're not going to be going to war with anybody, any minor nation. We're the Federation after all. We're all about peace and love and justice. So we got Kursendal here, which, I mean, that doesn't look too bad. It's definitely not a big planet. And as far as, you know, planets go, Alpha Centauri 7 is looking like the best bet. Down here we have also got Terra Nova. As we can see, it's a continental terrestrial planet, but it's showing up as yellow, so there's some kind of issue with that planet down there. And might as well get this out of the way. In the first episode, when it comes to colony names, I'm going to be sticking with the planet names. So, for instance, if we were to colonize the planet of Springboard, we are going to keep it as Springboard. We are going to keep Alpha Centauri 7 as Alpha Centauri 7. I think that fits the most into the way sort of Star Trek names its planets, because it doesn't seem consistent. So I'm not going to stay consistent. I'm going to stay true to the lore of Trek and have, you know, planets like Alpha Centauri 7 in the same world as, you know, planets like Terra Nova. And by world, obviously, I mean fake world and not combining two planets into one. It's ridiculous. Not even fallen empires have the technology to do that.
Research complete.
So while we're waiting for this colony ship, good, we got our destroyer done. So we might as well start looking at what we can do to improve the defensiveness of our ships, and I think polarized hull plating is probably a good place to start on that.
Research complete.
We've also got leadership boosts, which is great. We might as well get a boost to society research. Naturally, the humans have, you know, society research abilities. I have a feeling
Research complete.
what video was done rendering. Army damage, good. We might as well go for the ship build time. And then let's scope out Earth, because I'm thinking the amount of time that it's taken to get these minerals up, that's just a little too long for me. We're going to upgrade this mining network here. We don't have much else in the way of mining. Well, I guess no, we do. So that's fine. I still, though, want to get our food situation taken care of first. So we'll do that, and we'll do that, and then we'll have our farms built and ready to go. Mars is pretty much full, so we might as well get power plant going. We need some more minerals before we can do that. We got a scientist leveling up. You guys want a migration treaty? You got it. We might pick up a few because they're ocean world and, you know, we're continental or terrestrial. So, you know, things. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Springboard is looking pretty energy intensive without any food free to build on. So I still think Alpha Centauri 7 is going to be our best bet here. Okay, that's good. They're entering a non-aggression treaty. It's a good thing to do. We will take the USS Curry. Drop it in here, and this is Alpha Centauri 7. So we will keep that going and get that started. So there we go. Humanity's first jump to another star system is obviously going to be into Alpha Centauri. And, you know, hopefully it'll be the start of the building up of human
Anomaly found.
dominance. Well, that's the wrong word. Human hegemony over this region. Yeah, sure, we can give that a research. We can also check out to see what's going on here. It's the hostile fauna of Terra Nova that will cause us issues, but it will give us a boost to society output, which is great. Because we got, you know, a level 4 society bonus from these mountains that we'll need to clear. So having the bonus applied to that, that's going to be nice. I think that might be our next planet, although we do have to be cognizant of the influence. A research agreement with the Vulcans? Absolutely. Those guys should be worlds above us. And you can see they've got the ion thrusters. They're only going to be 70 research points. They've saved us a whole month. The city ruins that were reported on the surface of Eta Cassiopeia turned out to be nothing but unusually shaped rock formations. That's sad. So let's take the Ginzel and go to Grinzel and go to Epsilon Iridani, because that's got a tropical world. But I think because of the limiting influence, or the limiting, well, I guess the limited influence we've got, you know, Sirius is going to be seriously the next planet we're going to have to go for. I think Springboard is going to be best. I'd like to get our mountains cleared
Research complete.
before dropping down there. 'Cause, I mean, it's not going to be too bad. It looks like we're going to be just focusing on energy. So a planet here with a farm here wouldn't be a planet. A capital planet, or a capital there, the farm up there won't be too bad. But I'd like to make sure we can get some good food infrastructure in place first. What do we want next? I guess tile blockers? We got a deep sinkhole on Mars and some mountains. What? Yeah, power, sure, let's do it. It is going to take a little while to figure out how to fill in a sinkhole. It's a complicated thing. You can't just shovel more material in there. It's just going to keep disappearing.
Research complete.
Ship build time is down, which is lovely. We might as well go for... I guess we'll go for Warp 5 engines. Again, I don't think we're going to be using them, but we can definitely go for them. We should probably start looking at designing that destroyer as well. We'll go with Phaser Defense Module. Why not? The Tellarites getting into diplomatic treaties.
Challenge your preconceptions, or they will challenge you.
Now, one of the things we're definitely going to need to research is the Form Coalition, which is what Federations are called in the game. Obviously, because, you know, in the Star Trek world, Federation has a slightly different meaning. We'll take the Grinzel and we will bring them up. Why not survey this sector over here, or this system, which will possibly have potential colonies to go on. Sol monitoring stations have detected an alien probe on a direct course for Earth. All attempts to hail the probe have been met with silence. As such, we must now presume the vessel to be hostile. Well, that's not good.
Spatial rift detected.
Can we get the Anaconda to do something about this? Because that thing seems to be just absolutely moving. Obviously, we got ourselves a bit of a Xindi probe that's hostile. I have a feeling it's going to be able to just destroy the Anaconda here without too much of a concern. Now, before, you know, everybody gets down my neck for losing 2/3 of Starfleet, I don't think 3 Corvettes would make a difference to this probe. We'll find out. Let's slow her down.
Fleet engaged.
We got our torpedo shots there. I mean, it's just, there's not much damage getting done. We could use some backup. We'll get another Corvette rolling. What have you got? Yeah, okay, we'll do this. Hopefully you guys come to Earth and it's not a bunch of humans leaving. Sure, Denobulans can come too.
Station.
Alright, we got the USS Venture ready to help out against this probe. It's still, you know, taking ages to hammer it down to nothing. Polarized hull plating 2? Yeah, let's do it. We could use the defenses, I'm sure.
Hostile fleet engaged.
There we go. Now we got 2 Corvettes coming in here. We might be able to pull this off. Is there anything? We could add another phaser defense module to the space station of Earth, which honestly at this stage might not be a bad idea. That energy maintenance will address, you know, with a power station here. Oh good, we got Andorians here who are probably quite pissed off that they're living on Earth. We've got Benzites who are, they're decent enough, I suppose. Let's just quickly check though. what all these new aliens are good at. Natural physicists, quick learners, leader skill levels. They're not adaptive though, so that habitability is going to be pretty darn bad. The Andorians are talented, slow breeders, industrious, solitary. So what we would want to do then, at least with the Andorians, is to take them and get them mining, because they should have, you know, a bit of a boost to that once they get used to living on a warm planet like Earth. So that's fine. These guys are natural physicists, so I'll use a Benzite once I get that cleared out. Until then, do we have any physics slots here? We don't. We'll have to remember them. Andorians go mines. These guys go physics. Okay, that's good. Can I build a power station? Can't do it. Not enough power. So, hopefully then... not enough power, not enough minerals. Hopefully... these two Corvettes can beat this probe down enough. The galaxy is dark and full of terrors, human. Join us in a federation for mutual protection. Absolutely. With it being the Vulcans, we've got a much better chance of inviting both the Talarians and the Andorians to it. We could offer the Andorians an association status, which might not be a bad idea, but because the Vulcan High Command don't really like the Talarians, they might be a bit of an issue. We might as well snag these guys, get them association status, and start working on the diplomacy between our two peoples. Because, I mean, obviously I'm voting yes on that. And I'm glad that it's only 17%. The Grand Compact voted to offer Andorian Empire Association status within the Federation. Don't worry, this isn't the way the Federation functions. It's not just a in-game federation, if you will. Can we get you firing, maybe? Oh hey, but look at this! Look at this! A Vulcan fleet has come to help out. So we've got 3 Vulcan Corvettes with level 2 phasers and some spatial torpedoes. Whew, okay, hopefully... Alright, and now our space station is firing back. Hopefully we can beat these guys off. And I stand corrected, feel free to jump down my neck for losing those 2 Corvettes, because I think they might have made a difference. The alien probe cut through Earth's defense with ease before taking up position in a geosynchronous orbit. After several minutes of apparent inactivity, the probe fired a condensed energy beam at the surface of the planet, burning large swaths of the East African coast to ashes before powering down. The few remaining ground batteries and a contingent from the Mars Defense Perimeter on patrol near Jupiter at the time of the attack were able to take advantage of pause and successfully destroy the vessel. It will take weeks to fully assess the extent of the casualties in Africa, but preliminary analysis indicates the total could reach nearly several hundred million. The people of Earth are shocked by the losses as they turn to Prime Minister Nathan Samuels to answer the question, who sent this weapon of mass destruction? This is a tragedy. We've lost 4 pops. 2 Andorians, 2 humans have died in this attack.
Spatial rift detected.
And we've got a freaking impact crater over where we were building a farm. Well, let's clear that impact crater, because that's just a little ridiculous. And my god, we need to get things sorted here. So, yeah, you can grow there. It's going to take you a while. Otherwise, things are okay. We don't necessarily need that. Especially not now that we've lost, you know, several hundreds of millions of people. I guess well, let's go with the gravimetric warp core. Negative energy balance. We'll get that sorted. Inactive buildings on Earth. Obviously, that's getting researched, so that's good. Federation voted the Andorians into association status. That is lovely, and we're glad to work with us, and we're glad to have you. The Talarians entered into a defensive pact. So, I mean, you know, things have happened. I'm hoping here we'll merge those guys together, have them sit in orbit of Earth, And my god, you know, things have gone poorly. Because you've got 11 things to scan, I would like to get this done first. You don't need a research ship to research that. Good. So we will just do this. Oh, no, I do need a research ship. They just have to be in orbit. Okay, cancel that, enter orbit, and then we can research the expanse and find out where that probe came from. What else do we need? We need some power on this planet. It looks like the Benzarians, the Benzites, whoever they are, they're no longer here. So that kind of sucks. We can, however, take you and put you there, and at least get some power growth going. Looks like we're going to need ourselves a governor for Alpha Centauri, and we might as well go with the builder. Lena von Falkenstein will be in charge of Alpha Centauri 7, because, you know, she's got a brain for building buildings, and that's basically all we're going to be doing for the initial stages, is building buildings and, you know, clearing out tile blockers. So, yeah. So that was new. If I'd known that, I wouldn't have sent all of Starfleet out to gallivant across the galaxy. Still, you know, I mean, we lost some pops, and that sucks. But, we're not, you know, dead. We're not dying, and thanks to the Vulcans for coming to help us out. I feel like we've got a bit more of a connection between our two peoples now, which is really all we ever needed. Who is saying no to this? So it's just basically these guys. We just need to get their trust up. Thankfully, we've got the Universal Translator. We should be able to achieve that. And then these guys, we gotta get the Vulcans to say, hey, Tellarites, they're not so bad. It looks like the Temerian Union here is completely surrounded the Beta Zeds. It's a little bit concerning. Potential future friends over there. But I guess we gotta get our own stuff sorted out. Now, why am I focusing on getting, you know, these three nations to all get along and love each other? Not just because of the lore of Star Trek, but because of the way federations work. Once you get 4 members in this federation, you know, we're halfway there, there's some event chains that allow you to become, you know, the Federation, the true United Federation of Planets. So let's give this a research, because we got hardly any time left, and we should probably get that done. And then we can head back to, you know, Struve 2398 and finish off the scan of this immense system.
Complete.
Engineering teams have successfully analyzed the wreckage of the alien probe. Certain quantum markers in the hull material indicate exposure to a class of subspace anomaly frequent to the Delphic Expanse, a turbulent region of Coreward. The vessel's damaged computer core reveals almost nothing short of the name of the alien race, Xindi. Determined to prevent further incursions into United Earth space, the Admiralty have proposed a mission into the Delphic Expanse to gain additional intelligence. So we should probably take a look at that.
Spatial rift detected.
We must select someone capable of leading an expedition into the Delphic Expanse to prevent another attack. We need an admiral of a level 1 or higher. So, let's recruit an admiral. A level 1 or higher admiral, in fact. And we, of course, have quite the selection. Now, can I sort these? Good. I lean towards recruiting younger admirals because they'll be around longer. So taking a look, what do we got? A 33-year-old with a longer lifespan. We've got a 34-year-old with subspace or sublight speed and sensor range, which is, you know, all right, I suppose. We've got another leader lifespan. We've got evasion and sublight speed and combat speed, which isn't too bad. Then we got a cheap one and experience gain. I think we're going to go with Clara Knotts here, the scout with the sensor and sublight speed increase. So let's get her going, and you can be in charge of the fleet. So let's get that researched. Now, I'm not necessarily thinking 2 corvettes is going to be the way to go off into the Delphic Expanse to go off and fight the Xindi, but I think if we get this event chain rolling, things will be better than if we don't. We got a new warp core up, so I'm kind of leaning towards, quite honestly, we should probably get the modular nuclear reactor, but I am leaning towards deflectors. Well, let's get the nuclear reactor. Let's get the cheap research done first. Captain Clara Knotts has been selected to lead the mission into the Delphic Expanse to gather intelligence on the Xindi. Starfleet has provided its most advanced ship, the Enterprise, and most capable crew for Clara Knotts to command for the duration of the expedition, where contact with Earth is expected to be limited. A contingent of soldiers from the Military Assault Command Operations have also been assigned to serve under Clara Knotts. Does that mean we got a ship? Oh, I don't think we did. We didn't get the Enterprise. We just got the 2 corvettes still. Because we might as well start tracking that on the map, and it's nowhere to be found. All right, stop tracking. We'll see what happens with the event chain. I haven't played this mod in this version, so I don't really know, what we need to do here. Perhaps we need to build an Enterprise-class ship. I'd be a-okay with that. We should at least take a look at the Enterprise and maybe, give her some proper phase cannons, maybe give her some spatial torpedoes. At this stage, we should take a look, and we can see the differences between engineering, science, and tactical variants. So engineering, you get a few more medium slots. Science, you're pretty well balanced, and tactical, you skew towards the large. We're rolling with an engineering, which I think, honestly, I think we'll go with science variant instead, just because it's more balanced. And we'll get a proper warp drive, a proper combat computer, proper thrusters. We have no tactical components researched for this ship. We might as well get the upgraded warp core and some polarized hull plating. We might as well put in an emergency backup system as well. We'll save that as the Enterprise class. Perfect. So we can build one of those if and when we get the money to do so. After weeks of fruitless searching in the Expanse, Captain Clara Knotts has found her first clue. The owner of a Tellurium mining station claims to employ a Xindi laborer and would be willing to arrange a meeting for a price. One of the Xindi workers' fingers is provided as evidence. An unfortunate mining accident, apparently, which provokes more questions. The organic residue from the probe that attacked Earth shares a number of genetic markers in common with those from the finger. However, they appeared to be from separate though related species. That the Xindi may not be a single species confuses the investigation. Captain Clara Knotts convenes with the Enterprise senior staff to decide on how to proceed. Use Makos to abduct the Xindi worker, meet with the Xindi worker, or offer to purchase the Xindi worker's contract. Apparently we don't have enough resources to purchase one worker. Who knows how much money they bring in, but that seems a little ridiculous. I don't think we're gonna go ahead and do the abduction. I think we'll just meet with them. It's more Captain Knotts style, if you know what I mean. Captain Clara Knotts leads a team into the mining facility to question the Xindi worker, a male named Keswick, after having transferred a small sum to the mining facility administrator. Keswick knows nothing of the probe that attacked Earth, however he is willing to offer the location of the Xindi homeworld on the condition that the captain helps free him from his contract, which comes close to slavery. He warns that the facility administrator will likely attempt to enslave Clara Knotts and the Enterprise crew in the facility too. Agreeing to help Keswick escape, Clara Knotts' team follows through the bowels of the facility until at last they reach a section where the Enterprise transporters are able to penetrate. However, a facility security team ambushes them, mortally wounding Keswick before the transporters complete their cycle. Back on the ship, the dying Xindi reveals the location of the Xindi homeworld and that 6 separate species of Xindi evolved there, including primates like himself. Set a course for the Xindi homeworld! My word, this mod has been improved. Oh man, how are we going to recover from this? We have arrived at the coordinates of the Xindi home system, however no habitable worlds can be detected. Instead, an enormous asteroid field fills the star's habitable zone. Using predictive modeling, the science officer is able to confirm that the asteroid field came from a single world between 150 and 200 years ago. Material analysis of the field indicates the presence of advanced compounds that indicate the presence of a warp-faring culture. If this is the Xindi homeworld, it has been broken for a long time. Captain Clara Knotts orders a return to the original Expanse search pattern. Sorry for the lack of commentary there. I just need to get some water into my system. There's an awful lot of reading here. But I certainly do enjoy it. The changes, the building up, the story. This is what Stellaris is missing. For me, it's just, you know, a driving force for your nation to do what it's doing, other than just conquer the galaxy, which, don't get me wrong, it can be fun. But sometimes you just need a backstory. And, you know, the nature of these Paradox games, sometimes backstories develop incredibly well, but sometimes, you know. Anyway, the Enterprise has detected a Vulcan distress signal being transmitted from a nearby asteroid field. On inspection, the vessel, the Saleya, is heavily damaged and not responding to hails. Boarding the vessel, Captain Clara Knotts leads a team to make contact with the crew and attempt to effect repairs. Deep in the Vulcan ship, several Vulcan crew members, in a frenzied state, ambush Clara Knotts' team, forcing them to take refuge in the Saleya's control room. Analyzing the bio readings from a Vulcan officer stunned unconscious reveals the psychotic effect has been caused by exposure to Trillium-D, which pervades the asteroid field. We can use the Makos to rescue the away team, or we could, you know, try and do a possible cure. I think in the nature of the way things go, we'll spend the 150 energy credits to try and find ourselves a cure. Captain Clara Knotts orders the Enterprise medical staff to exhaust all options to provide a cure to the psychotic Vulcans on the Saleya, while the away team reinforces their position in the control room. Nearly a day passes before a series of potential cures are provided. However, all require testing. Selecting the most likely antidote, a medical team distribute the concoction of Trillium-D neutralizing agents through the life support umbilical connections to the Saleya's starboard docking port. Within minutes, the entire crew of the Saleya is unconscious, allowing the away team to exit the control room. Several hours pass, and the crew begin to awaken again, showing no signs of their previous behavior. The surviving senior staff of the Saleya express their appreciation for the Enterprise's efforts and promise to petition the Vulcan government to assist the United Earth search for a solution to the Xindi crisis as soon as the Saleya effects repairs. Lovely! So we got the Vulcans on our side to help us out. Meanwhile, you know, we still have to be building up our colonies while all of this craziness is going on. And I think right now the best idea is going to be getting some basic power plants built up on Mars, and there's really not much we can do on Earth just yet. Where do we want you? We will put you actually there. Modular nuclear reactors are done. Let's get ourselves some migration speed increases. Months of investigation have led Captain Clara Knotts to a Xindi mining colony where chemosite, a key element used in the Xindi probe's attack on Earth, is being produced in huge quantities. The mines appear to be surrounded by a number of small settlements with layouts suggesting civilian use. With enough time and materials, we could fashion a series of explosive charges that would destroy the chemosite mines while avoiding damaging the civilian structures. But any delay could allow the Xindi to collect more chemosite for their next weapon. Clara Knotts to lead an away team to the colony. We can't sabotage the storage, or we could just destroy the entire facility. I think we'll go with the leading the away team. Infiltrating the mining colony, Captain Clarinauts' team have identified the head of operations and have captured him in his home. Questioning the Xindi Boreal, a male named Gralek reveals how he had been assured the chemocyte produced at the colony was for research purposes only. Horrified at the prospect of his work killing millions, Gralek agrees to help sabotage the next shipment of chemocyte and provide a tracking device to enable the Enterprise to follow the shipment to wherever these weapons are being produced. Excellent. And now that we've hit the hour mark, I think we'll leave it there for today. Save this game as, obviously, the Federation. Perfect. Give that a good old-fashioned save. So, starting Stellaris over again, but I've got a good feeling about this. I don't think, we'll be getting slaughtered by random massive Corvette fleets. Hopefully, anyway. Regardless, thumbs up if you have enjoyed today's episode. Leave your comments, questions, concerns, thoughts, jokes, musings, what have you below. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.